Buongiorno, buonasera. This is Larry Aiello. I'm here in Palermo, Sicily. One of the most famous attractions here in Palermo, one of the most bizarre ones, are these catacombs. And here I'm walking to the entrance of the catacombs. It's a cave system that was started in 1599, and it's a very popular tourist attraction here. You can see the piazza. There are some buses over there that bring tourists to these catacombs, and there is a taxi stand here as well. But these catacombs, not many places in the world that you can see them. There's some in Rome, some in Paris, and New Orleans has a big culture with their cemeteries. Boston too has some very old cemeteries, but there's not many places in the world like this where you can go and see the catacombs. It was started by the Capuchin friars in 1534 in this little church over here. They started burying their dead. They ran out of space, and in 1599 they found a cave right behind the altar over here, where you see the entrance over there. And they started burying their dead in there, and they realized that the bodies were well preserved in the caves, and they realized, oh, this must be an act of God, since the bodies tend to be so well preserved in this cave. So they started burying the rest of their dead in that cave. And then they realized, oh, we could start charging wealthy people to display their loved ones. The ones that were higher on the display in the caves commanded a higher fee, and the ones that were lower would be a lower fee. And so it grew today to what we have, to about 1,000 mummies and 8,000 corpses. And they have them separated by different sections: male, female, virgins, professionals such as doctors and lawyers, priests, and even Capuchin priests were even separate from the regular priests. The most famous of the corpses in there is Rosalia Lombardo, Palermo's Sleeping Beauty. And ironically enough, she has the same name as the patron saint of Palermo, Rosalia, Santa Rosalia. And the formula was created by Alfredo Salafia. He was a taxidermist, a self-taught taxidermist that created the formula for the noble the girl that died at 2 years old, Rosalia. She was from a noble family, and so you can see this is quite a tourist attraction here. You wouldn't think so, but it is. You get out of the way here. You hear even German tourists. But so he developed the formula, and he basically took out the blood of the child and replaced it with this embalming liquid that used to preserve her organs. So her organs are still all intact. It's still amazing when you look at her hair. It seems like you could kind of just kind of rub, just kind of rub her hair, and it's still very soft and supple. He died without releasing his technique. It was later discovered by a relative who found it cleaning out his items in a hand, on some handwritten notes. Scientists have been able to still figure it out what the embalming technique was. And many of the corpses still have their teeth. They have their hair. Some have their hair, although it's kind of like Brillo-like, their hair, not as well preserved as the child's. And some of them still have their clothing and suit and ties. I guess depending on their profession. Some of the clothing have tags on it. It must be like a maybe some type of, looks like price tags, but it must be some type of numbering system that they use. And yeah, just incredible place to see. So the dates that they started burying were from 1599 to the 1930s. And the price for admission is about €5. It takes about 20 minutes or half hour to go through. There's some guided tours you can hire if you want to. And interesting fact, the Capuchin friars, cappuccino comes from the Capuchin friars because of the colors of the outfits. Ties into the cappuccino. All right, everyone, this is Larry Aiello. Hope you're having a great day. If you want to learn Italian, check out the link in the description. There's also links to my other courses in the description as well. Ciao, ciao.